Hey, it's Fletcher with Alan Carpenter, and today I'm going to be going over the top 3 mistakes attorneys make in serious injury claims that could be costing you money. The first sounds pretty obvious, but it can be a little more complicated than you might initially understand, and that is blowing a statute of limitations. Most people understand that they've got, at least in Arizona, 2 years to bring a claim after the injury occurred. But there are times when that timeline is much, much, much shorter, and oftentimes lawyers miss it. The number one example is if it's a claim against a government entity. In that situation, you have to file what's called a notice of claim, and the timeline for doing that is months rather than years. If you don't file a notice of claim, then your claim is forever barred against the government entity. Another situation is if you were hurt while employed, if you were on your job. If you don't file the lawsuit within 1 year, your claim then reverts to the workers' compensation carrier and you are barred from bringing a lawsuit. A lot of times lawyers miss that. Another situation is if your injury occurred on an Indian reservation. There's a lot of those in Arizona. I actually was recently referred a case from another firm who couldn't get it settled. They called me up and asked me if I would take the case because they couldn't litigate the case. And as I asked about the situation and the facts, I learned that the at-fault party was on an Indian reservation, which in Arizona, they have their own notice of claim requirements. And so that claim was time barred, and the law firm that was referring me the case didn't even know it. The number two way that your attorney might be costing you money is by not negotiating your medical liens or your healthcare provider liens. This is a situation where a lot of clients don't even know this is a thing, that you can negotiate the bills you get from the hospitals or the liens that they're asserting against your claim. A lot of times law firms don't even try to negotiate these because it doesn't impact their fee at all. They're going to get paid the same no matter what, whether or not they negotiate these liens. And so a lot of them don't even bother negotiating it. But every dollar that lien is reduced is another dollar in your pocket. And so if your lawyer is not negotiating those liens, or at least not exploring whether the liens are valid or invalid, an example of that is sometime recently I had a helicopter transport that transported my client from the scene of a very serious incident and flew them to a hospital. Helicopter company asserts a lien for about $60,000. Well, that lien wasn't valid, and we had to litigate that, but that was $65,000 extra dollars that went to my client's pocket. A lot of law firms just ignore that. The last one is waiting until the last second. When you wait until the last second, that's when mistakes happen. If you're waiting until the day a disclosure is due to talk to your client and get the information you need, you're going to miss stuff. Things are going to be messed up in the disclosure, and you might be forbidden from bringing certain claims that weren't properly disclosed. So waiting to the last second is probably the third of the top 3 reasons why your attorney could be costing you money. If you need an experienced attorney to handle your serious injury claim, give us a call at Alan Carpenter. Or if you have a currently pending case with another law firm and you want a second opinion, feel free to reach out to us at alancarpenter.com or give us a call at 480-808-5075. Thanks.